I'm Shajuan Anthony, and I just jumped off the porch with Dirty Glove Bastard.
Where the you been at? Bet you won't put this shit in the block. Pull up on you, catch you with your friends. How about the beans? Tapping my watch.
All right, today we got Shajuan Anthony jumping off the porch with us today.
What's the word? What's the word?
How you feeling today, gang?
Feeling great.
For sure, man. It's a
Happy to
pleasure
be
to
here.
have you. It's a pleasure to have you on the porch with us today. So tell me, what you out here working on in Atlanta?
Came down here to do this and just network a little bit. Music-wise, this is the first time that we've been to Atlanta with the grind, with the push. So happy to be here.
For sure. So for those who wouldn't know, how would you describe life back at home in Houston?
Same as everywhere. I feel like it's a little bit of the same in our community and this in the vibe that we put out. Pretty much the same everywhere, same type of spots, all of that. You just gotta navigate it however you can, push through and build something up.
Straight up. So how would you describe your childhood coming up out there in St. Louis?
A little different. So the scene is really in St. Louis. I was raised in Wright City, Missouri. That's about 60 miles west of St. Louis. So I'm a country boy at heart. I just like the city vibe, you know. I rock with it a little bit. Put it into the music, fell in love with music, and I go where that takes me at this point.
For sure. So how would you say the two cities compare from each other?
It's a lot more to do in Houston. A lot more opportunities, and it's a lot easier to build a stable foundation at this point, I would say. So I definitely rock with it. Back home, I was able to build up the actual criteria of music, a little battle rap, a little bit of everything. So it made me pretty much what I am and what I'm presenting in Houston today, Atlanta, all of that. So
when would you say you jumped off the porch?
Probably about, I would say, for real, about 2010. 2010 is when I would say I started getting into it, trying to take it serious, and just putting actual effort into becoming a better artist, musician, and all of that stuff.
Straight up. So what would you say is the biggest life lesson you learned?
Take it serious. There's no reason to do anything if you're not gonna give it your all to it and actually try to be the best you can be in it. It's pretty much pointless. Time is all we have, and you can do a whole lot with time, or you can do nothing with it. So it's pretty much gonna be up to every man to do what he's gonna do.
For sure. So what would you say is the biggest obstacle you had to overcome so far in your life?
I'm an introvert, for real. Like when it comes to the music, I like the studio. I like going in there, small group of people creating. So just getting out, new surroundings, new settings, and presenting myself as who I truly am, not really being standoffish and all of that, because I just like to be quiet, stay in my vibe, people watch and all of that. So that's probably the one.
For sure. So when would you say you started making music?
Making music a while ago. I would probably say for myself, like actually making music around 2010, right around 2010, 2011. I did some verses. Before that, everybody on the stage with me, they rap. That's how I got into it. So coming in, doing stuff with them, but making music, making songs, and trying to make a career out of it right around 2010, started young.
For sure. So what would you say motivated you to start making music?
The motivation for starting to make music was seeing the passion that others had for it. I don't really tell this story too much. I remember my younger brother, we was all coming back from the club, me and him super young, and he was freestyling in the car. And everybody from our community, most people are troubled. We go through stuff, we don't talk to people and all of that. Well, he freestyled for about 3 hours straight, even when everybody got out the car. And then he broke down crying. So he broke through some type of wall right there. So that was the motivation for me to actually take it serious and use it to get out my traumas, my pains, and all of that.
That's real. So who would you list as some of your musical influences?
Early, a lot of East Coast, Jay, Jada, Recently, obviously, Drake influences a lot of people, Meek Mill, and that's really about it. Kodak, as of recently for me, been rocking with Kodak, so that's about it right now.
So how would you say you got your rap name?
My rap name, actually, I used to go by Young A, and then I went to the studio one day, and the dude that was recording me told me that I would tap into a broader audience just using, my real name. So my rap name, Shajuan Anthony, that's my name. I ain't really got a facade or none of that type of stuff. I'm just putting me out there now.
That's really you.
Yeah.
For sure. So when would you say you decided to take music serious?
I used to love it based off of what came with it for a long time. I started taking music serious, I would say right around 2017, 2018. So a couple years in now, and putting a lot more into it, a lot of effort, long nights, a lot into the craft where you don't sleep. You make songs until you get them right. You write verses until you get it right, and that's really the motivation and the grind now.
For sure. So what do you feel like brings the best out of you and your music?
Having people around me that try to be the best at what they do. If you get in there with an engineer that takes their craft serious, they're gonna bring the best out of you. If you go into a show and the promoters or everybody there takes their craft serious, is gonna bring the best out of you. So you always wanna get around people, for me, that want to succeed and want to do better. And that motivation right there is always gonna bring whatever it can. Whatever you have to offer, it's gonna bring it out of you.
Straight up. How would you describe your current thoughts on the rap game?
I love it. It's a lot of space for everybody. It's not biased. Whatever music you wanna create, you create it, and 9 out of 10 times it's a market for it. There are fans that wanna see you succeed. So I think that the rap game is in a great position, in all honesty.
That's real. What would you say is the biggest risk you took for your career that paid off?
Biggest risk in my career that paid off was actually just investing in myself. A lot of people, they look for others to do pretty much everything, but you gotta take some risk. I take money from my home, from my lifestyle, to put into my career to make sure that I'm getting where I need to be. So I would say investing in myself is the biggest thing.
For sure. What would you say is the biggest sacrifice you had to make? Biggest
sacrifice, taking time away from my children. I got kids, so if you're gonna do anything aside from take care of your family, be gone away from your kids, and not be there to see certain things, it's got to mean a whole lot to you. So that's one of the things I would say.
For sure. How would you describe the music scene back in Houston right now?
To me, and I can't speak too much on it because, like I said, I'm a studio person, so I get out into the scene. I just started performing my tape and getting out there. It seems good. It just seems like you can tell some people take it a little more serious, and some people just do it. It may be a hobby or something of that nature, but I take it serious. I don't do this for games, for jokes, or clout, or none of that.
For real. So how would you explain Houston's impact to the music scene and culture overall?
I think the impact on the scene in general is great. A lot of people don't realize it, but everything, right now the way it's set up, everything trickles down from the higher ups like Drake, and a lot of his influence is from Houston. A lot of the music that people listen to, it derives from Houston culture in general. So they may not understand that, but that is legit. The impact is strong.
Talk about the inspiration behind your latest single, Where You Been?
Where You Been? The inspiration for that is pretty much a lot of that sneaky link stuff people be talking about. Just having a counterpart that provides that energy for you, where you pop up and all your problems go away at that point in time. That's really where it comes from.
I feel that. So what can you tell us about your new project, Back on Road Part 2?
The project is doing good. To me, I would say it showcases a decent amount. It's a six song EP, so it showcases not only the rapping ability, the storytelling, harmonies, melodies, just basically an overshadow of everything I have to offer as an artist. And then the next project we'll fine tune and we'll make it greater.
What would you say is your personal favorite song from the project?
Personal favorite song is All I Know. And that's pretty much just a showcase of how I got into taking music serious. Going from jumping off the porch to getting into street activity, and then realizing that you gotta find a better way, and using music as that outlet to you know, gain the things I want out of life and what I want out of myself.
For sure. So what should listeners expect from your upcoming project?
Upcoming project, they should expect a wide range of not only melodies, but bars from the club. I can take you from the club to the street, to in there with your lady in the bedroom or your hubby, whoever you got. And a wide range of emotion, for real. I plan to take the listeners up and down all the way through it, but keep it authentic to myself at the same time.
That's real. So what is it that you want listeners to take from your music?
Taking from my music, I want them to take that it's always better to be yourself. Everybody's story is interesting. It don't matter where you come from, where you grew up at. Putting that story out there in a natural way is captivating. Just be you.
Straight up. So how important is fatherhood to you?
Very important, very important. I feel like that's what drove me to take it serious. When my children first got here, I was still doing music and wasn't taking music serious, and I'm missing out on first. You know, you can miss out on first steps, first word, and you out of town. If you're not taking that serious, you're gonna pay for that, you know, down the road. So those things made me take life serious in general. So that I think that's the most important thing that I've taken from it. Everything must be assessed in a reality standpoint. Life is not a game. We're not here to just play. We're here to grow. Parenting is a part of that. You know, fatherhood is a part of that in general. So I think taking that from it is the best thing so far.
That's real. How would you describe your grind as an independent artist?
Independent artist, the grind is serious. We don't have a lot of the tools that, you know, major artists have to play with. So you're putting your own money into it, you're putting your own time into it. I play the role of not only artist, but I invest in myself. I manage myself here and there. There's a lot put into it. The team is a lot smaller, so everybody wears multiple hats, and you got to take pride in that.
Straight up. Talk to us about your label, Billionaire Bloodline Music Group.
Billionaire Bloodline Music Group, founded 2020. BMG Reason, he's the owner. Got All-Star Chuck in the back. He's a flagship manager. I'm the flagship artist. Got the clothing line. We're building right now. We're building, and the goal is to obviously grow, put more artists under it, but everything here is pro artists. That's what I like. I have a lot of benefits of making the music I want to make, and then knowing that even on the indie level, they're gonna take it as serious as I take it and help me push just as much as I wanna push, as far as I wanna take it.
For sure. Would y'all ever consider partnering up with a major label situation?
Yeah, we talk about it. It's just it has to be in our favor. You know, at the end of the day, if you have the tools that you need to get there, to get to the spots where your goals are, then that's good. But there's always room to grow at a faster rate, you know, all of that. So there can be conversations about it regardless. If it's beneficial to the movement and the brand, we'll definitely take it there.
For sure. So what else are you working on right now?
So right now, outside of Billionaire Bloodline Apparel, the clothing line, we're working on the next project. I've been writing on that for a while. That's gonna be called No More Free Randy. I'm looking at about 10 to 11 tracks. Aside from that, we just really trying to fine tune the business side of it, making sure everything is done the right way. So as we push, we can continue to benefit off of all of the work we put in.
Straight up. What would you say is the goal you have set for yourself in your career over the next 5 years?
Over the next 5 years, the goal is to have influence over millions, be able to be in position to help millions of people. That's really what music is, in entertainment in general. So I want my influence to grow so I can affect this world in a positive way.
Straight up. Any last words and shout outs?
Shout out once again BMG Reason, shout out All Star Chuck, shout out all our nonsense podcasts, and everybody that's doing music, that's in this business, that's taking it serious and putting their work in. Shout out to everybody.
Shout out to everybody.
Shout out to everybody.
Straight up. Shajuan Anthony, we appreciate having you on the porch with us today, gang.
I appreciate y'all for having me, man. It's an honor.
For sure.
Where the you been at? Bet you won't put all this shit in the block. Pull up on you, catch you with your friends. How about the beans? Tapping my watch. I'ma need a little bit of that.